Hello boys and girls, this is Professor Nelson from Electronics. Today we are going to put together a very useful tool. For this we are going to need a USB Type A connector, a micro USB connector, for LED diodes, like these ones here. They can be the same color or different colors. We need 4 100 ohm resistors of 1/4 of a watt. A battery holder for 2 AA batteries. A Bakelite plate the size of the battery holder, on which we are going to connect the components. I will explain the circuit that we are going to use right away. Well, without further ado, let's get started. The first thing you will do is bend the USB pins, so that they look like this one here. The same for the micro USB. You have to bend the legs to the sides. After that, you have to bend the LEDs as well. Here I have an LED, and don't forget that the longest one is positive, and the shortest one is negative. So when you bend it, you have to keep that difference too. Now we're going to cut the pins. And you have to cut the negative one shorter than the positive one, so you always know which one is positive and which one is negative. That way we have positive. We have negative. Do the same with the other LEDs. The resistor should also be cut, like this one here. And if possible, then try to bend it so that it is like this. Do the same with the other resistors. Okay, guys, now the circuit that we are going to draw on our Bakelite board. It would be this one here. At one end, we have the USB Type A connector with its 4 terminals. And at the other end, we have the micro USB, in which all the terminals are connected, which go to the positive of our battery holder. The negative is going to be connected to the 4 100 ohm resistors that are in parallel. Each resistor is going to have an LED connected to it. And each LED is going to be connected to a pin of the USB connector. Since the connector has 4 pins, so each pin is going to have its own LED. See that we are connecting the cathode to negative. Well, without further ado, let's go on to draw this circuit on our Bakelite board. To do this, we are going to use a pencil and start drawing the circuit. Okay guys, this is how our board would look. Remember that I am first drawing it with a pencil, and I am making the lines or tracks for our board. Now you can also practice on a sheet of paper first before transferring it to the board. Now what's left is to use a permanent marker. That is, we're going to use the marker to repaint the lines and then put it in acid. Okay, guys. This is how our board would look after having applied the permanent marker. Once the ink is dry, we'll be able to put it in acid. So let's put it in acid. Then we'll solder the components. Okay, we have our acid and we're going to submerge our board in it. After that, we're going to shake the acid a little. And after a few minutes, we'll have our board ready. Okay, let's see if our board is ready. Well, it's ready. As you can see, we've just removed all the copper that we didn't cover with the ink. Now all that's left is to remove all the ink and continue with the soldering. A little alcohol will do the trick. Well, our board is ready. Let's start with the soldering. First, we're going to solder the USB connector, the largest one. Good. Now we move on to soldering the LEDs. Don't forget that the positive has to go to the USB connector. Now we move on to soldering the resistors. Well, we have already soldered the resistors and the LEDs. Now we only have the micro USB left. In the case of the micro USB, we have to solder all the pins as indicated in the diagram. There we can see that the 4 terminals of the micro USB are connected. So we are going to place it and solder all the pins in this area. It must not have contact with the resistor terminals. Very well, it is now soldered. There you can see that all the pins are soldered together. And our little board is now finished. Now we move on to cleaning it. And then we're going to move on to testing. Alright guys, we've just finished our board. Now all that's left is to place the positive and the negative of our battery holder. As you can see here in the circuit, it says that positive has to go to the micro USB, which we're going to place right here. The negative has to go to the resistor terminals, right here. So we put negative here and positive here. Ready now, we're going to put the 2 batteries in and test our tool. So let's move on to testing. Now we're going to test our USB cable tester. We're going to test the status of the USB cables. There we can see that only 2 LEDs have just turned on. It means that this cable is a cable to charge phones, and it's not a data cable. But it's in good condition. Let's test this other cable. This cable is a data cable and is used to charge the phone. You can see that the 4 LEDs are lit. It means that the cable is in good condition. In this way, you can use this tester to find out if your cable is in good condition, or if it is a cable to charge the phone, or a data cable. Don't forget that there are cables with 2 filaments that are only used to charge the phone. And there are cables that have 4 filaments that are the data cables. And sometimes 1 filament breaks, leaving the cable damaged. And with this tester, you will be able to find out if your cable is in good condition or if it is damaged. Well guys, that's all. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget that a like helps the channel a lot. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.